say a few things about where I am in relationship to therapy TikTok. So I've been feeling like incredibly alienated from therapy TikTok. I don't know where it originated from, but I think it has to do with all of the pay transparency videos. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm not saying don't do them. I'm just saying, like, every time somebody says how much they made on a Tuesday, I think of their patients or clients and how it feels to be part of that number. And I would imagine that their patients do definitely see these videos. It feels like it's right on the edge of HIPAA for me. I also feel like I can no longer really talk about modalities here, maybe because the TikTok model is just too compressed to have the complexity of dialogue that seems important to have about therapy. I feel scared for our field when I'm on here. I know that there's a lot of fear around insurance. I'm involved in that. Like, I own a group practice, and it's never not scary, but there's a kind of fear mongering or something that's happening that I don't know if it's like trauma bonding or what, but I definitely do not feel like a part of it. I don't feel like it represents, I guess, what I would call like my experience. Like, the reasons I feel threatened as a therapist right now is because of the conditions of the world, and what my clients are facing and what I'm up against in terms of, you know, needing to surrender to the limits of the work. And that feels like, you know, really important and something that I have to check myself around. But it's not insurance. That's just not working. Like, it's just those conversations don't feel healthy or productive to me. I'm sorry. I know that sounds really judgmental, because obviously they do need to be discussed, and I do take insurance, so I know that really well. And maybe I'm just sort of like in denial about that. But the other thing is, like, I'm not totally sure what's going on in schools, like in terms of therapy schools, whether that's social work programs, IDs, counseling, psych. We get a lot of interns where I work, and it sort of feels like at least social work programs have decided to performatively decolonize themselves, but didn't put anything else in to sort of substitute it. And I think it's really important to decolonize everything we're reading, to get context, you know, to learn about the writer, to learn about the time it was written, to understand the role that the writer had in oppressive systems. But it seems like there's nothing being put in the place in the absence of the canon. And that's a pretty big assumption on my part. But I'm wondering if students and trainees are feeling that way, if they're feeling like they're graduating unsure of what they were taught because their school was too scared to take a stance on what is even teachable right now, what's even acceptable right now. And I wish the schools had some humility around that. We're like, hey, we're at a point here where the road is diverging and we're not sure which way we're going because the field feels different. But I think they just are acting as authoritarian as they always have, but not substantiating it with any real education. That's a lot of opinions about therapy TikTok right now. And I know that some of them are controversial. And, like, honestly, they're just mine. Don't worry about it too much.